Hello, everyone. Time for another reaction.
All
Let's
of us
go.
here, though, are speaking from a point of privilege where we have a choice. Like, we have a choice. Everyone here has a job, we earn a living, we're fine. There are a lot of people coerced into corn. There are a lot of people that find themselves trapped in it. I think that it's unfair to say that those people.
I think it's perfectly fair because men are in the same situation and they don't have an out. They just go to McDonald's. It's not.
Being coerced and trapped in corn. Is it really? I I actually want to defend that ginger girl, but is it really? Really? I mean, Pearl makes a good argument, right? Men just go to McDonald's. Women, well, they can go to corn and be a corn star. Is there, are there like coerced, forced, uh, and trapped in it? Well, imagine you are an 18-year-old girl. You just received your ID, right? And you have an option of making that choice. It's legal now. So someone comes to you and says, look, if you will do this, you will get $100,000. And you're 18. You're 18. You think, hey, $100,000. Do you imagine that money in your hand and thinking about it? And like, yeah, the thing he wants me to do is kind of a icky. Yeah, but that money, I mean, I'm 18, that would give me a start. And it's not like the guy stops at that. He's trying to convince her, right? Look, it's a good start for you. And there might be even more opportunities in the future. Like, you know, you could earn like even more, like twice that next time, or even 3 times like that. And he's trying to convince her. Is that being coerced or forced? Nah. I guess to some degree, like it's being convinced that, like, if you don't have a strong character to figure out, if you don't know life, meaning if you don't know that every coin has two sides, and you don't have in mind that you need to look at the other side of the coin, then the simple answer is yes. And again, that girl is 18. She's possibly still naive. I guess. Is that being forced or coerced? It's similar, but not exactly that, right? Now, are they a trap? Are they trapped? Yeah, I think they are, and they're not trapped by those people that were convincing her. They are trapped by themselves. The moment they accepted that proposition, they opened the Pandora's box and they trapped themselves. So yes, I would agree that they are trapped.
If the women don't want to go to McDonald's, that they choose to do.
They tend to join the army, but yeah.
What, men?
Joining the army is better than
doing that.
Yeah, like.
But that's the point. Like women, we have a choice, and so if they make the selfish choice, it's I think we can assume they're more selfish.
I mean.
Okay, no, sorry, Per. Sorry. That argument's so bad in many ways. First of all, men don't have that option. You're speaking like you know what would be the result if it would happen. You don't know. We don't have that option. So don't try going into an argument about something that could happen, and you know the outcome of something that could happen. I mean, sometimes we can predict some things, but if suddenly all men had the same options as women all around the earth, you say you would know how that world would look like, and men would still go to McDonald's? And you're 100% sure about that? I'm not sure. Because that world doesn't exist. No, there ain't a single person on this planet that can be sure. Now, you can say, if well, I'm not sure, but I'm 99% sure. Well, are you? That world doesn't exist. How can you be 99% sure? By watching data? You don't know. Fine, you can be 99% sure. Do you think that 99% sure it's still enough to say that that is the truth? No. How many times you were sure of something in your life and it turned out to be the opposite way? It turned out that you were wrong. How many times that happened? Well, I bet plenty of times. Well, who knows that's not a situation? We're not talking about that situation. Maybe that's just the 1% is what will happen. Okay, I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it won't. I'm saying there is no discussion here because that doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, then it's nothing. You don't talk about nothing. Is it selfish though? Right? So we're going back to the situation with the girl. So we have that girl, and that girl looks at that $100,000, and there is a choice of her going to McDonald's, and well, they want her for corn, so I bet she's lovely, she's beautiful, so I guess she would get a job somewhere else. Would that be selfish to take that money, that 100,000? It's materialistic. Is it selfish? I would say yes. But who says being selfish is wrong? I mean, there are moments where being completely selfish is wrong, but everyone should be selfish to some degree. When thinking about themselves, being selfish is thinking about yourself. At least to some degree, right? So, being selfish? Sure, but no one asks the question, was she still right in being selfish? If you have an opportunity to earn 100,000, and someone comes to you and gives you that opportunity, why shouldn't you accept it? Because it would be selfish taking a huge amount of money? Yes, it is selfish, but why shouldn't you accept it? Of course, someone gives you an opportunity to earn 100,000. Yeah, the decision is selfish, but so what? I mean, yeah, of course. Now, the thing is that decision that girl's decision comes with other consequences. She doesn't know about those consequences. She's young and naive. Okay, she doesn't know. So let's maybe, I don't know, let's maybe increase the age at which you get an ID, if you're not ready to make that kind of decisions. But on the other hand, if you will just increase the age of getting an ID, then you're just postponing something that eventually needs to happen, right? You need to learn from your mistakes. You need to make those bad decisions in order to learn how life works. Now, this girl is making a decision that has consequences she doesn't know of. So is that still selfish? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, I guess who she can talk with to get an advice regarding that decision. I mean, do you just go to a friend and say, hey, I had an opportunity to go to corn industry. Should I take it? You don't say those things to your friends. I mean, I guess to friends, maybe, but it would have to be a close friend. It's not easy. Usually you hide those things, I think. I don't know, but I would assume that you hide it. So you can't. You don't have an option of being advised by someone. Is that selfish? There are plenty more factors over here than just being selfish. Of course, money does play a role, and selfishness does play a role in all of this, but the whole equation is much more complicated. You can't just point out, hey, it's selfish and that's it. Sorry, that's not enough.
I mean, women are trafficked every day and then end up in corn, and then
we're not talking about women that are trafficked.
But I think
we're talking about women. But like, you keep going to an exception and not the rule. We're talking about women that choose to do corn. I'm not talking about women that work.
Yeah. So do you think women that have done that in their past should not have the privilege of having children?
No. I think
it's a hard one. I think everyone should have kids. Yeah, everyone should have the choice.
But you can't take away the accountability of knowing that that action was selfish, and that you have to take accountability for what your kids could go through, and you've got to take responsibility for that. And at one point in your life, you might have to apologize for that. And I think that's where that's what women don't do. It's like, no, but they shouldn't be going through this because of X, Y, Z. And they shouldn't, that's just life. It's like, I shouldn't always have to think about locking my doors and locking my windows if I leave my house. But I have to. Why? Because I might not come back to no yard.
I'm going to answer your question.
You know, that woman is very smart. I have to say. At least she sounds like it. She's kind of right. You can't take away accountability, right? Now, that 18-year-old naive girl did make that decision. That girl did open the Pandora's box. Her children will suffer the consequences of that, if she will have children. Now, do you... You know, I'm thinking about it. The thing is, you know, that girl is being convinced, and possibly the woman, whoever that was convincing her, possibly one of his arguments would be, it's not a big deal, and the pay is huge, right? So he's kind of teaching her that there are no consequences, and if she accepted, then she agreed that there are no consequences. She believed him that there are no consequences. That is still her choice, sorry. Right? If she took the money, that is still her choice. And I understand that there are arguments, and rightful arguments, to say that, well, maybe in this case the consequences shouldn't be so severe because she was young and naive, etc. I would agree with that argument, but the consequences are still there. The thing is, like there is a difference between a murder and a manslaughter, right? What that person that committed a homicide, what was his reasoning? Why he did it? Well, it could be an accident, right? Even so. So circumstances do matter. And what kind of, how many years in prisons, what kind of sentence you will get, depends on those circumstances. But you are still going to prison. The end. You are still going to prison. It's not a question if you are going to prison. It's a question of for how long. So I think what Pearl's argumentation, or not Pearl's, that women's argumentation is exactly what I said. Doesn't matter. You are still going to prison, right? The sentence is different, but you are going to prison. What she's arguing for is not letting those people go. They still deserve to be in prison. That doesn't mean you should not think about the circumstances, on the other hand. And there is some kind of responsibility to... You have to learn in life responsibility, and when you make a decision, sorry, you are going to prison, right? So you have to just accept it. Learn to accept that. The consequences of your choices.
I think that women that have done OF or corn should be able to have children if they want. Mm-hmm. However, I think that men should not get them pregnant. Yeah, why would I tell a guy to pick her when he could pick someone that doesn't do it? Like, would you want your brother to pick someone that did corn or OF, or your son?
No.
How about this? It's also, Pearl, I think what you said is also not right. If a man wants, then why not? Right? So it shouldn't be forbidden for men to pregnate those women. If they want to, they can. It's a free world. Every choice has its consequences. He will suffer the consequences of his decision. Right? He's a man. You're a man's right activist, I guess. So you are about consequences and choice. Well, that is his choice and that is his consequences. Forbidding anything is wrong in this case. But how about this? How about this, Pearl? A different solution. If you're going on a date with a woman and that woman is a corn star and that man doesn't know it, the full disclosure would be obligatory, right? Don't affect his choice by forbidding his choice or whatever. Force people to tell the truth. Force people to tell the truth. That doesn't sound right also. That doesn't sound right also, but... Well, why can't people just be honest? Why can't people just be honest? Why... I guess coercing is wrong, right, in this situation? Or is it? I don't know. But I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. Don't force the choice, just give full disclosure and let that man make his own choice. If he wants, after hearing the truth, perfect. That's what we want, is to hear the truth. And we can make our choice. If that guy will say, sorry, if that's the case, then sorry, I'm not interested in having family with you. Then, well, sorry. That's how it is. You have to accept it. That corn star has to accept it. But hey, I think that's a better solution.
Someone will always do it though, so that'll
But then also too that maybe comes from the part that if you do corn, then you're like you're written off as a woman. That's what like it's it's like people like what they like, and I just think that if that's the path that you had to take, whether it was your choice or not, then there just has to be some accountability when you do have kids and be like, okay, this was me.
And can I just say, when you said that choice, I think, when it even comes to men that say, you don't want to work in McDonald's, you don't want a normal job, you go out there and do whatever it is you want to do. Most of these things normally stem from which is you want more money to do more things that are actually not substantial. They're not things that you need. They're things that you want. So ultimately, that choice isn't coming from a place of need. It's coming from a place of want. You don't want to work in McDonald's because you don't want to wear Primark. You don't want to work in McDonald's because you don't want to always have to eat, let's say, corned beef and rice. You want to be going fat crab and you want to be doing STK. Like, what is the reasons for you making these choices? Is it for a reasonable sacrifice? Or is it because it's just selfish, again, for the reasons of your own well-being to be heightened?
Oh my, I was right. That woman is very wise. That was beautiful, I have to say. That was beautiful. Yes, that's what is lacking in this world. It's restraint. It's about consumption. I want this, so I will get it one way or another. It's like, I mean, it's not really that wrong to need something. But if you just need it because it looks pretty and it gives you status, etc., that is not a good reasoning. She is completely right. No comment. She 100% facts over here. I mean, that was beautiful.
Most people in corn aren't earning big money though. That's a small percentage of people that are earning big bucks in
Do
corn.
people go into corn to make little money? Is that their intention?
Nobody goes into any job to make little money.
Okay, so it's still, her point is still the same. You do it for quick money.
But
people go into
just because you're bad at it, like you still went in for the same intention.
I would be so
embarrassed. I would be so embarrassed if I started an OF and nobody bought it.
Like, do you think people go to start a line to make, guys don't go to start a line or do certain things to be making the same wage as a man that's earning 30k?
I think from a guy point of view, as I said, like, I don't think it writes you off as a woman, as you said. There's always going to be men that do go for that. Especially if they think the girl's beautiful and everything like that, they'll still go there. But I think where it only just winds me up is, like Mia Khalifa, for example, goes into corn, makes loads of money, does really well, decides it's not for her, and then it's like, well, no one should be judging me for what I've done, and that's just the world that we live in.
She didn't make loads of money, that's why she's annoyed. She didn't make any money based on it.
No, she still did do very well.
No.
By the way, I don't know who they are talking about.
She was the number one corn star.
And she didn't get the money for it. She got a small pay for what she did initially. This is her whole thing. That's why she's on social media speaking out against.
How much did she make?
I think it was like £10,000.
It was more than that.
No, I'm pretty sure it was. And then she said the production company took everything else, because that was like the first TikTok I saw from her, was her talking about how like she was taken advantage of.
Okay, I think I know what's happening over here. I think I know what's her reasoning. Okay, it's hard to explain, but let me try. it's not really about the money. That's not her argument. Let's go back to the example of 18-year-old girl. I'll try to explain what she means. What she means is that 18-year-old girl, 18-year-old naive girl, when that guy or woman approached her and gave her the choice, he shouldn't be convincing her. He should be telling her, look, the consequences will be this and this and this and this, and teaching her what is the choice, and some sort of becoming her teacher or a parent, right? Everything that is not according to being teacher or parent is wrong, right? So according to her, that 18-year-old naive girl should still be under protection of society, right? Because she's an 18-year-old naive girl, and because she's a girl. That sounds like privilege, and it is. Is it right? Is it wrong? I would say it's right. We are here to protect those 18-year-old naive women. But she's going into business, into a grown-up's world. Is she prepared? Possibly she is not prepared. Is it in that person's who is trying to convince her, is it in that person's interest to teach her about the full consequences of her choice? No, it's not. That's how business works. That's how business works for people, not for women, for people, men and women. It takes time to learn how to live in this world. Like the best example is taxes, right? When you listen, when you are negotiating your salary, right? You're applied for a job and you're negotiating your salary with the employer. When you look at the amount, and the amount that employer shows you that you will learn is usually the amount without paid taxes, right? Let's say it would be 100,000. After taxes, the real money that you will have in your hand, it would be like, let's say, 50,000. Now, that is something you know. Taxes is something people talk about all the time. So taxes is something you know. But that 18-year-old naive girl, she just got her ID. She doesn't know how the business works. There could be other things over there, right? Imagine that you are an 18-year-old guy or a woman, or it doesn't matter what your sex is. Imagine that you finished, you just got your ID and you're talking with your employer and you have no idea that taxes exist. Right? You have no idea that taxes exist, and your employer says you will earn that amount of money. Okay, you accept, you work, and you receive money at the end of your month or week, and it's not 100,000, it's 50,000. So obviously you're pissed. The guy said you will earn 100,000, but you received 50,000. Someone someone took advantage of you. Someone lied to you. Someone used you. Right? That would be your first thought. You were promised 100, you received 50. So, yeah. And the next thing that you will think is, hey, that person, like, let's say you go to your employer and say, you stole from me, you stole half of my salary. And the employer says, well, no, that's just taxes. And you go, well, what do you mean taxes? What is taxes? And after finding out all of it, let's say that employer will actually go into a teacher's role and tell you what taxes are. That's not his responsibility. You should know what taxes are. If you are starting to work, you should know, you should be prepared. If you are not, that employer should say, I don't have to explain anything to you. Go and find out yourself. But let's say the employer did explain. What's the next thing that comes to your mind? Well, the next thing that comes to your mind is, you should have told me that when I was signing the agreement to work. You should have told me that then. Right? What this ginger girl, I don't know if ginger is actually, I like the word ginger. It's cool. But as some people find it offensive, I love it. I love it. I've actually, I think it's a compliment. Ginger women are beautiful, more beautiful. I mean, I would take a ginger over a blonde anytime. Anyways, her reasoning is, if you're not prepared to go into business and you are an 18-year-old girl, then you should be still under protection, and the world should protect you still. Everyone that is giving you a proposition of any kind should wear her parents' shoes. That's her argument. And when someone doesn't do that, then that's taking advantage of. That's taking advantage of that girl. In her mind, that is the world that should exist. That will never happen, dear girl. That's not how the world works. No one, if you've finished your 18 years, no one has responsibility of telling you the consequences of your choices. You should do research yourself. If someone is convincing you to take that 100,000, it is your job to figure out, hey, what is this guy's plan? Money like that is not usually easy. There has to be something more over here. But that's a grown-up's talk. That's a talk of that's talking someone who has experience in life. That's just experience talking through you, right? That 18-year-old girl doesn't have that experience. That doesn't mean that suddenly she should be under protection, and it's wrong to do business with her. If she's too young to do business, and she's not prepared to do business, then she shouldn't be doing business. Sorry, no, that's the way. But if she did make a choice to do business, and she's suffering the consequences, I mean, fair enough. You just earned a good lesson in life. And take that lesson to heart. Learn. Don't just start go on blaming people. That's how life is. That's how you learn. That's how it always will be. So there is no other way than acceptance. If you want, you will become resentful, hateful. That's not a way to go through life. Anyways, I think that's all for my reaction regarding this. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.